Hello and welcome to a vlog of some sort. It's an E3 wrap-up vlog, yeah! Now, I would have been doing a podcast, but Brian's very busy with exams and stuff, so I just thought I'd do this instead. You get a few images on screen, maybe. I don't know what I'm going to do with the video yet. So anyway, we're going to begin with, we're going to do this in order. We're going to throw each conference in order, and mostly go for what I remember, rather than every game ever. And I'm going to give you a general overview of what I thought each conference was like. And yeah. So we're going to start off with probably the one I was most excited for, Bethesda. They kicked off the game. They kicked off the conference with Doom, which before I saw it in action, I wasn't really interested in, because Doom 3 was just, ugh. I had no interest in playing that game. Whereas I do like the original Dooms. I still find them a tense and action-packed experience, as old as they are. And especially if you're still Brutal Doom, then it just becomes great fun. So yeah, they've got basically everything right. They've made it more action-packed, faster, less based on horror and more based on just pure brutality. A lot of showing of chopping people in half and ripping out their lungs and stuff, and lots of blood. The only problem I think I saw with it was the fact that when you were doing melee kills, the like critical animations were all canned. Like they were all not pre-rendered, but pre-animated, which means you're going to have to go through that every time you kill somebody with melee. And I do not want that. Then next up, they brought on Dishonored, which was, of course, leaked just a few days before the conference went ahead. Just excuse me, I literally just woke up because I've just caught up on all the sleep. But yeah, they revealed Dishonored 2, which has got Emily from the original game as one of the. You can pick either Emily or I believe Corva. I know there's a female or male character at some point during the game, and yeah, it all looked good. There wasn't any gameplay shown really; it was mostly CG. I think it was all CG, in fact, CGI trailer. But yeah, it's more Dishonored, and I'm excited for that because I really enjoyed Dishonored 1, and I felt it could do with some more polishing, and this is what sequels are for. So you can go, that was wrong, we'll change that. At the same time, they also sort of just slipped in and said, oh yeah, Dishonored Remastered is coming along with all the DLC included on new platforms, including PC. So they're just upping all the graphics, basically, and sticking the DLC in, which is, got Dishonored on PC. I can't imagine you can bump up the graphics much more than you had it on PC. Fallout 4. Oh my god, yes. Oh dear. They brought Todd Howard on stage, and everything was right with the world. They showed off the gameplay. Actually, they started off by showing off concept art, which looked amazing. I'm always amazed by really good concept art. You get some concept art, and then you get really good concept art, and Fallout 4 has some really good concept art that really lets you see into the world that they're trying to make. They confirmed that it's 200 years after the bombs drop, and they also confirmed that you get to play before the war, which is something I predicted before the thing. When the first trailer released, I said to Brian, I said there'll be a crafting system, not only weapon crafting, but an armor crafting system, which there is. You'll be able to play before the war, which you can. We didn't see much of before the war. I'm imagining there's more than what they showed us, because he did say we're not going to spoil the story. We just want to show you what it looks like before the war and after the war. So I'm imagining there is more than just the few minutes they played before the war. But that involved setting up your character through a brand new character creator system, which is very similar to how The Sims 4 does the faces and stuff like that. Well, mostly the faces, yeah, the faces. So you can drag the nose and stuff around, and the cheeks and the jaw, and then you can set your hair. And he said there was basically endless variations on characters, and that's how they create all the NPCs in the world. Which is going to be interesting, because does that mean that every raider and, every mob is going to have a different face, which would be great. Be nice. Hopefully the main NPCs that you actually talk to, they will have designed those from the ground up and not just let the automatic system do it. Otherwise, we'll have a sort of Borderlands issue with where in Borderlands you've got just guns that are all just a bit crap. Really, there's no significant difference in any of them. But yeah, the crafting system, literally just hundreds and hundreds of combinations of guns. I can't remember how many weapons he said there was in the game and how many variations you can stick on them. I think that's like 100 different modifications you can stick on every gun or something like that. Oh, that's just insane. Armor crafting. I'm going to focus on Fallout 4 a lot here, just to warn you. Armor crafting, they brought that up. They also said that there's now a multi-level armor sort of wearing system, so you can have like armor and then the shirt underneath or something like that, I guess. The dog has been confirmed since the conference to be dog meat, and from Fallout 4 that is. Fallout 4, Fallout 3, and he can't be killed as well. But yeah, he actually looks like a useful thing. Voice acting, the player's character is now voiced through a Mass Effect style sort of conversation system where there's 4 options on the screen, and you pick one of the 4 options with the buttons on the controller. Oh dear, what was wrong with just having lots of options? Oh well. Hopefully it doesn't reduce the conversation system. I can see what Brian was saying now that I think about it. He's worried it's going to reduce the amount of dialogue options. I am hoping that Bethesda are sensible enough not to have. But yeah, having a 4-button system doesn't seem quite right now that I think about it. But I'm also not keen on conversation systems like in Mass Effect, because you press a button that says hello and then you go on a rant about how you hate that person and you don't know what the emotional response is in the piece of text. They like to make you guess that you're going to say it very angrily rather than saying angrily hello. And then they revealed something which I did not expect. Well, I say I didn't expect it. Brian and I did talk about player homes. I keep mentioning Brian because you know Brian from the podcast, so yeah. Brian and I did mention player homes maybe being a thing, and they are, yeah. The idea is that everything in the wasteland can be basically melted down, similar to Skyrim, how you can mine ore and then melt it down, but everything in the wasteland can be turned into something, and then you can just go and build your own town, little settlement. I don't know how big you can make it. I don't know if it's anywhere or if it's only in certain places, but you can build sentry bots and all sorts, and it's quite amazing actually that they've put this in, because all they had to do for Fallout 4 was give us Fallout 3 with new graphics, and everyone would have taken it. They would have taken it. But no, they've put some real effort into this, and it looks good, like both visually and gameplay-wise. They also announced Fallout Shelter, which is out on iOS now and will be on Android within the next few months, which is a free-to-play, and it is entirely free-to-play game where you build your own little Fallout shelter and manage it, sort of like is it Tiny Tower? Was that the one where you build up a block of flats basically? I can't remember, but that looks like great fun. The only thing you have to pay you don't even have to pay for it. He basically said if you want more lunch boxes, which I think give you special characters and stuff, like Free Dog can be put in the vault, then you can buy them, but you don't ever have to buy anything, which is nice. They also announced the limited edition version of, well, the special edition, not limited edition, special edition version of Fallout 4, which comes with a wearable Pip-Boy that you can put your iPhone or, I assume, I hope Galaxy into. And there's an app that they're building, a companion app that lets you actually have a Pip-Boy on your arm, which is fucking awesome. And I went and pre-ordered that straight away because I'm a sucker for plastic tat. Especially plastic tat that I can put my phone into, wear, and then pretend I'm playing Fallout 4 on my arm. As for the Pip-Boy, oh god, they changed the Pip. You can now play games on the Pip-Boy. The Pip-Boy is now a place where you can play games. Basically, they said they wanted to make it feel like it was actually an entertainment system, like it was suggested to be. So you can play radio and games. They've also redone the whole menu system, which is nice. It needed a redoing. But yeah, that's Bethesda. Personally, for me, Bethesda won E3, mostly because Fallout 4, and I was amazed at the fact that how good Doom looked and how fun it looked. So we'll move on to Xbox, roughly 10 minutes in, so why not? Xbox. I noticed a lot of Windows 10 exclusives, or should I say Windows 10 and Xbox One and Windows 10 exclusive, as the man would say, which is quite funny. Basically, Microsoft are finally realizing that PC is actually a good platform to support and not to just ignore. I'm really not going to mention much from Xbox because none of it really interests me. They got a new controller, looked really nice, looked like it's going to put every custom controller manufacturer out of business because it's got buttons all over it and toggleable switches and God knows. But yeah, it looks really nice. It's apparently really pricey though. But I'm going to have a look at that because it's wireless, which means I won't have to have a cable. It comes with an adapter, but it does need Windows 10 to run on the PC, which is the downside. And I don't know what Windows 10 is going to be like yet. So, looking forward to finding out what Windows 10 is like and maybe in that controller. Xbox Game Preview is basically Steam Early Access for Xbox, except they have fixed one of the issues of Early Access and the fact that you can play a demo of every game on Xbox Early Game Preview. So you can now play a demo before you buy it, which is something Valve need to think about. Because, sure, we've got the refund system now, but with the amount of bitching and whining that developers are doing, that might end up going. Oh dear. And then a man came on and wore a HoloLens and just committed witchcraftery on stage by playing Minecraft on the top of a table. It was covered in sand, the sand all poured away, and then the Minecraft world rose up from the inside the table. Oh, it was quite interesting to watch. I can't imagine HoloLens having many practical applications for video games, though. They did also announce that not only are they partnering with Oculus Rift, which their Oculus Rift announced at their keynote, their conference, what you want to call it, they also are partnering with Valve's Hive, which is interesting. So it seems like that Microsoft really want to support VR, but they've got HoloLens, which isn't really VR. It's something entirely different. While we're on the point of VR, we should also mention that Starbreeze, the guys behind Payday, have announced they've got their own VR system. So I'm going to see this as becoming a problem because we're going to have a dilution of VR headsets in the market, and developers don't want to develop for multiple VR headsets. There needs to be a standard. If we're going to have multiple VR headsets, there needs to be either an API or some sort of visual standard so that they all just work. Anyway, on to EA. It was EA, mostly. They announced Mass Effect 4, which is kind of cool. I like the Mass Effect series, but Mass Effect 3 I was less interested in. They, for some reason, spent a good 20 minutes talking about Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2, which is weird. And I don't... They mentioned it at the Xbox conference as well, which is weird. Yeah. Mirror's Edge, Catalyst. That would look good. A while ago, they said they would be adding more combat to the game, more gunplay to the game, and now they've actually confirmed that you can't use a gun in the entire game, which is amazing. It's just what we needed for Mirror's Edge. We needed to be focused, if any combat, on hand-to-hand combat so that you can quickly beat up people and right leg it. But they are focusing on movement, which is nice. Everything they said basically was right. Yeah, Mirror's Edge Catalyst, that's another game that I'm looking forward to. This year is going to be insane for games. This year is going to be absolutely insane. Star Wars Battlefront. I don't care for Star Wars. It looked like a first-person shooter with some white men in stormtrooper outfits running around. And it's only got like 32-player multiplayer, hasn't it? So, yeah. EA fucked that up. and sports. They had Pele on for 10 minutes, and it was awkward. And they kept splitting up the sports, so yeah, it was a lot of me looking at Lego throughout the EA conference. I just went and looked at Lego, see what I could buy. But yeah, EA's was alright. It had too much sports, as EA always does. On to Ubisoft. Ubisoft had Aisha Tyler, of course, for the 4th year running. They had dank memes being dropped, as the kids say, dank memes. They tried to make a meme live, and then it fucking worked, so yeah. They showed off Assassin's Creed Syndicate, which is the Assassin's Creed I've been wanting for years, but far too late now, because all my hope in that franchise is gone. I've played so many of the bloody games, they are all the same. Making one in London now is not going to make me buy it. It's set in Victorian London and based around some murders and stuff. I don't know. It's Assassin's Creed, but with awful English accents. All right, governor. Yeah, you. Yeah, and so on. The Division, again, as always, just popped up to be like, I'm still here. I'm still around. Don't forget about me. I will be out eventually. And they gave it a release date, I think, of 2016. I think that was the release date. Then Ghost Recon Wildlands. It looks like every other first-person shooter Ubisoft have made in the past 5 years. Nothing amazing, really. I haven't played a Ghost Recon game since Ghost Recon Island Thunder? Island Thunder, I think, was the Xbox One. There was Jungle Storm and Island Thunder, I think. I think Island Thunder was the one I played, and I bloody loved that game, but that was the last Ghost Recon game I gave a crap about. They showed off a new sort of cross between Dynasty Warriors and Chivalry called For Honor. I was confused as to what was happening. As I was with a lot of these press conferences, I had no idea what was going on half the time. And then they kicked off the show, actually, with a new South Park game called The Fractured Butthole. Which is Fractured Butthole. Yeah. It's not made by Obsidian, which is going to be worrying. I didn't ever play the first one because I'm not a fan of South Park. But I understood that people really loved it. And they promised never to make another game. And then they're making another game. And Obsidian aren't making it. So it's probably all going to go tits up because they're not using the original dev. So, yeah. Now, Sony probably won for a lot of people. They won E3 for a lot of people. Basically, they won E3 for people that were waiting for games that have been rumoured but never really got a release date. So they kicked off with a game that was shown off in 2009, I believe it was. Or was it 2006? Yeah, 2009. Last Guardian. In my talking to my friends beforehand, I was saying it's going to be this year or never about Last Guardian. And everyone's like, no, it won't be this year. It won't. They're not gonna announce it. And then they announced it. And then I made a joke about Final Fantasy VII Remake beforehand. And they were like, no, that's never happened. They haven't even ported the PC one yet. So, why are they going to do a remake? Then they announced the Final Fantasy VII Remake, which would be really interesting. I should go back to Last Guardian. Last Guardian looked good. I'm not so sure on the whole. The environment looked wonderful. The kid, who I'm going to call Icom, for obvious reasons. I think that's what he was called as well. The kid looked really out of place. He looked cel-shaded compared to the rest of the environment. And the dog looked more realistic than the environment. It's a weird mishmash. I don't know what they've done, and I'm hoping they fix it, because I really wasn't keen on it. Like, the dog was alright, but the cel-shaded kid was weird, and I don't like it. But yeah, they didn't really show much off. And what I saw looked beautiful. It looked amazing, but there wasn't enough shown for me to actually get any real judge on the game. Final Fantasy VII Remake, the trailer kicked off and everyone was like, what's this going to be? Is it going to be a Final Fantasy VII sequel? And then the words remake appeared on the screen and the entire crowd went wild. The internet exploded, as it did with Last Guardian previously. And then they brought on Shenmue 3, which made the internet explode yet again. The crowd went wild, blah, 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 blah. It's on Kickstarter. It reached its goal within 10 hours, I think. And then Sony went, oh, now it's reached its goal, we're going to fund it. Which is a bit odd, and I knew it was going to happen. It sort of makes sense if you got investors to gauge the audience and be like, look, these guys are willing to give us $2 million. They're willing to give us $2 million before it's even come out, before it's even started developing. So clearly they want it. So now they can make it a massive game, hopefully. I have no idea what Shenmue is. I've never played them. Then Media Molecule came on, and I like Media Molecule. I like Little Big Planet, basically. And I liked Tearaway. Basically, Media Molecule, anything they do is generally really high standard and quite fun. But they showed off Dreams, I think it was called. I think it was called Dreams, and I have no idea what that game is. As far as I can tell, the idea is it's a sculpting tool, which is a tool that you use in 3D art design. When you're doing 3D modeling and stuff, the characters use a tool called a sculpting tool, which is what exactly Dreams was, where you start with a ball and then you shape the ball and carve away at the ball and then add to the ball and until you get an amazing looking model. Just Google some sculpted 3D models and you will just be astounded by what people can do with it. But yeah, it basically looked like a sculpting model, which you could then add puppetry to. And then you can make a movie. I don't get how that's a game. It's just a animation tool. But apparently it's a game. I don't... Maybe they'll reveal something later. This was only the first thing we've seen of it. They seem really happy with it. So yeah, I have no idea what to think about Dreams. And then Hitman was shown off. Hitman's going to be digital only. They gave some more details about it later in the Square Enix conference. And it's coming out December 1st, I think. The 1st of December? No idea. Can't remember. Too many dates. And then they showed off No Man's Sky again. And No Man's Sky is still No Man's Sky. It still looks really pretty. But it's still I still have no idea what you're going to be doing in it. So... You know, I'm not going to get excited for a game that I have no idea what you're going to be doing in it. Because you might just have to walk around. And you can't do much in Elite Dangerous, which is what got me bored of Elite Dangerous, was the fact that there wasn't much to do in it. Because it was all self-guided content in a world that could be so much better than that. Nintendo came on and they announced Star Fox, and that was literally about it. I'm being a bit cynical there. They announced more than Star Fox, but they showed off some more Mario Maker. They announced Xenoblade Chronicles, a new Fire Emblem. But my general opinion was this is the year where they just publicly didn't show Wii U games, and yeah, they're basically just saying, yeah, the Wii U's done now, guys. Just not gonna tell you really. They even said that they will talk more about their new NX console, which was leaked, I believe, and they confirmed it, next year. So I can see this being the last year for the Wii U being around. It has still sold less than the GameCube ever did, I believe. So, and it's now older than the GameCube was before they dropped support. So yeah, don't be surprised if the Wii U's dead. They did manage to bloody sell me on those amiibos, though. All they had to do was announce Animal Crossing amiibos, and I'd go out and buy KK Slider, and they've done it. They've bloody gone and done it. I'm going to go and buy a KK Slider amiibo, and I don't even own a Nintendo console that supports them, because I've only got an old 3DS XL. Square Enix. Well, what was that, Square Enix? What was that? I have no idea. They didn't really announce anything new. They barely showed anything. They mostly spoke about it, which is weird. And it was just so... And then the man with a moon instead of a head came on. He came on with a moon mask on, or moon head on. I don't know what that was about. And everyone is confused, and Square Enix was really, really awkward. And yeah, they just showed off Just Cause 3, Hitman, Deus Ex, that stuff, Kingdom Hearts 3, which I have no interest in. And in general, it was probably I don't know. The next one might be the worst. But I'm gonna say Square Enix was the worst show of all of them. Now onto the last one, which is a new entry, along with Bethesda. I can't imagine Bethesda being around next year, by the way. Maybe they will, but I don't imagine it. The PC gaming show, powered by AMD and PC Gamer. Now, some of you may know me from PC Gamer servers as one of the admins of the Minecraft server. And I have been for about 4 years. So if you want to come on the PC Gamer server and say hi, please do. We need more people on there. So this was PC Gamer's attempt, PC Gamer US mostly, their attempt at bringing a PC gaming show to E3, finally. Now, the stream started at 1 AM, but the show actually started at 2 AM. Because doors opened at 1 AM, and then the show started at 2 AM, as I said. But this had everyone confused. Apart from PCG, who reported basically saying, doors open at 1, show starts at 2. Of course, in Pacific time, so it was 6 or I don't know. All the sites reported that the show started at 1. So that was the biggest mistake that they made, was, saying publicly that the doors open at 1, rather than just saying it to the people that were waiting outside. And also the site ticked down to 0 at about midnight, so God knows what's going on there. So everyone was pissed off with them already, and then it turned out it was a sort of chat show format, which I liked, but they spent far too much time talking for a chat show format. They brought on Killing Floor and that lot, and basically it's a load of PC devs. And the worst bit is that they spent the entire time, they spent the first 30 to 50 minutes just talking about the graphics. The Deus Ex guys came on stage and they showed off a video that was showing off graphics that was like post-screen reflections and ambient occlusion mapping, and I don't care about this stuff. It's 2 AM in the morning and let me go to bed now. I want to see what surprises you have. And they had no surprises. Valve weren't there. I mean, I am not a fan of Valve. I can tell you that now. But Valve are one of the most respected developers in PC gaming. And they make games for PC computers, This is Valve. And they weren't even there. There was no surprise announcements. The nearest we got to a surprise announcement was No Man's Sky coming out at the same day on PC, which is nice. Gears of War Ultimate Edition or something like that coming on PC. Killer Instinct coming on PC. And bloody the new Rising Storm, because apparently Tripwire killed the Red Orchestra thing or something. I don't know. Which is a good game, nice looking game. It's Vietnam, which I'm happy about because I'm fed up of modern shooters. But that was it. There was 4 announcements because we all knew that the Armor 3 DLC was coming. The Armor 3 DLC looks amazing, but we all knew it was coming. It was just, I don't know. They had one thing that got me excited. They had one thing that actually got me excited. Roller Coaster World, is it called? Or something like that. I can't remember it now. Frontier, David Braben came on, and bless him, he is not a good public speaker. the whole time, even had been sat down on the sofa talking to Day 9 in a chat show sort of figure. Braben came on, he choked up at the beginning. Day 9, being a lovely guy, sort of got the crowd to cheer him on. And then he stood up, and rather than sitting down, he stood up, basically went, "Hi, I'm David Braben, and I'd read Elite Dangerous, blah, blah, blah. Here's a new game." And then walked off the stage. But it's a fantastic looking video. It's just so happy. He was just, And it's Frontier making a Roller Coaster Tycoon game, but not Roller Coaster Tycoon, which makes me happy because so far Roller Coaster Tycoon World has looked abysmal, and it's now on its 4th developer, I think. Oh, you could just tell me it's cancelled now, and I wouldn't give a shit. Whereas when they first announced it, I was so excited. And we got Parkitect coming out, which is looking a lot smaller scale and a lot more low def, shall we say. It's not looking to be the ultimate. It's just a bunch of guys that really liked Roller Coaster Tycoon games and they want to make a theme park sim, basically. And I'm not putting it down. I think I'm gonna have to go and buy that one. But now we've got Roller Coaster Tycoon World, Roller Coaster Unit. I don't know what it was called. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry that I don't know what it's called. I'm just tired and basically, it's a Roller Coaster Tycoon game, and I'm really happy because I bloody love that genre. So yeah, PC gaming show was such a weird thing. I hope they have it back next year, and then they can improve on what they've learned. It sort of makes sense for the first year, especially as it's an entirely new platform, and it's a platform that has no one publisher, it has no one manufacturer. It's a lot harder to bring together than it is, say, a Bethesda thing, which is the newest one. You know, Bethesda is also their first year, but that's one publisher. Whereas when you got a PC gaming show, you have to bring on lots of publishers, similar to what you have to do with a manufacturer one, but at the same time, you have no first party. So it's all manufacturers and developers that you have to bring on and put together. So it was powered by AMD, which meant they couldn't bring on, say, an NVIDIA guy, or bring in a game that was powered by NVIDIA Physics or in GameWorks and be like, this is GameWorks, and this is what's exclusive to PC, like Batman Arkham City, what's it called? This is how tired I am. The new Batman game has physics smoke and stuff like that. They couldn't say that, so, they had to go and look at tiny graphics options that, sure, added together make a huge difference, but nobody wants to see. Nobody wants to go, oh, that's why I need to get a PC. That's what they needed to do. They needed to go modding. They need to just walk on and be like, this game could be modded. This game is on PC. Look how much better it looks. There you go. It's a game. Also, PC exclusives. There are so many of those. They could have just brought on Paradox's entire catalogue and been like, City Skylines. This is why you need a PC. Crusader Kings 2, this is why you need a PC. They could have just done that, but no, they really got the message wrong. But hopefully next year it will improve if they have it next year. I really do hope they have it next year. Also, they could just bring it a bit earlier. It was 3 hours long, I think, in the end. I went to bed at one point because I was like, this is just going nowhere. There's nothing surprising me. There's nothing keeping me entertained. So if you just shorten it, or if you want to keep it as long, move it into earlier in the day. Maybe make it tomorrow. Maybe, because they wanted it on the same day as everyone else. I can understand that. But there is no need for it to be on the same day. Just have it the next day. Oh, I don't know. So yeah, that is E3 in a nutshell. For me, Bethesda won it. For everyone else, Sony won it. And for some people, Nintendo won it. Although those people probably are controversial in the fact that Nintendo basically announced nothing. I'm not going to judge them as people. I'm just going to say that people probably won't agree with them. But you have your opinion. You're allowed that. I'm not even going to edit this video. I'm literally going to stick up images of Xbox and that lot, I think. I just want to get it up there. So, thank you for watching, and I shall see you next time. GTA will be next week, I think, at this rate. So yes, goodbye.